The finale of Survivor Season 47 is within reach, being just a few weeks away, and it's time to catch you up on all things Episode 10. Can't even believe I'm saying Episode 10. This season's flying
It's
by.
crazy the finale's coming up soon. It doesn't feel like it should be.
I think I saw a promo that said, I think it's like this upcoming week and 2 more and then the finale. So we're like 3-4 episodes away, which just doesn't feel right.
No.
So post-tribal from the previous episode, we see everyone come back and you see Teenie and Genevieve kind of have this heart-to-heart struggle, if you will, because Teenie once again feels kind of blindsided by Genevieve because she voted for Saul. And Teenie recounts that this kind of happened to her too back when it was just the Red Tribe, you know, on one of the votes. And it's interesting because Teenie kind of has a standout moment. This is kind of moving forward a little bit, but Teenie has the standout moment where she talks about how she doesn't even know if it's like Genevieve so much that's impacting her or if it's the fact that she's having kind of like, not an identity crisis, but just identity like issues, if you will. And so like she's like, I think I put a lot of expectations on other people because I'm so hard on myself.
Yeah, it was a good moment though too. We got to see a little bit more of Teenie's live outside the game.
It also was really funny. Her bag caught on fire, which didn't really mean much, but anyway, she made good of it though. She was very positive about it. So then we move into this episode's reward challenge, which was very fun. We've seen like team-based things, but we haven't seen something like this, I don't feel like, which I loved. So the remaining players were split into randomized groups of 3, and they were essentially tied up by their hands and feet, and they had to compete through this obstacle course. But the thing was, they had this little ball, like maybe the size of your head, that they had to get through, and they were just like nudging their head through the sand. They looked like little worms or something.
Yeah, they had to snake their way. It was kind of like a volleyball, I would say. Volleyball size at least.
Yeah, and so they just kept going through the course. How did it end? I don't remember how it ended.
They all had to like toss their ball, roll it onto a board and get it on a little platform.
Yes, I remember that. Yes, and each of them had to do it. Okay, I remember that now. Yes, and so Kyle, Rachel, and Sam end up winning, which then with this, they get a reward lunch over at the Sanctuary, which, side note here, I've seen a lot of tweets about this week, and I have to agree with a lot of the fans. A lot of people are like, we're over the Sanctuary, bring back the good rewards. So Survivor used to have these like really cool rewards where sometimes, they film on these really cool islands. Sometimes they would like take them into villages and like have them meet people, or they'd take a helicopter over the water, or they'd have like overnight stays on a boat, or like something that like really made it seem worth it. And now they just go to the Sanctuary every time. And as a longtime viewer, it's kind of frustrating. I'm like, bring back the good stuff.
Well, it does feel like at least every other week we're going to the Sanctuary. I mean, to add to that, I would be fine if they started to go away from Fiji once in a while too.
Me too. They used to film away from Fiji every season, and they started and just never left. I don't know. Anyway, Jeff says it's because they have a good relationship with the Fijian government. I don't know. Anyway, then we move on to this episode's immunity challenge. And here's the thing. This was very interesting. So this is kind of the infamous new era rice negotiation that we see, where every season about this point, they arrive to the challenge, and Jeff's like, we know that you need rice, we know that you're about out of rice, but here's the thing, you don't get rice for free, because it's the whole thing in the new era, you have to work for everything that you get. So they have to come up with some sort of negotiation. Now, in most seasons in the past, where they do this, essentially what happens is, fill in the number or whatever amount of players will have to step forward and sit out of the immunity challenge to then gain the rice.
And this time Jeff wanted 4.
But he wanted 4. But here's the thing. Every time he says, I'm open to negotiation or ideas. And so they're like, well, what if we don't do players sit out, but we try something else? So someone throws out the idea, what if all of us give up our shot in the darks, which if you know is kind of one of the twists where it's your last chance to kind of save yourself. You feel like you're on the bottom at Tribal Council. We all give up our shot in the darks. Here's the thing. You only get one the entire season. Once you give it up, you never get it back. So this is a huge gamble. Sam was really on the fence about giving his up because he knows he's at the bottom.
I don't blame Sam, though, either.
I don't either. Here's the thing. I think Shot in the Dark is stupid. I hope they get rid of it eventually, and I hope this is a sign that they should get rid of it. But every player does agree to give up their Shot in the Dark, which I just think is so bold.
I mean, in one way, though, like you said, it's worked one time where it saved one person. So, like, at the same time, statistically, it's not benefited most people.
It's not. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope that the producers realize, like, maybe this is an advantage that we should just, like, move forward without. So anyway, that was really interesting. This challenge, though, I loved. So basically, they had a disc, and they were also on this, like, very narrow wooden plank, and they had to balance balls on it, and each time the amount went up. So it started with 1, 2, and then 3. And then once you fell or your ball fell off, whatever, you were out. So it comes down to, shocker, Kyle and Sue. And here's what I'll say. Kyle is obviously a competition beast in this game, but Sue, being the oldest competitor on the cast, has honestly really impressed me with how well she's done in these immunity challenges. So Kyle does end up winning immunity once again. Shocker. But he's such a good player. And you know what? They should have got him out last week when they had the chance.
No, absolutely.
So you know what? Good for him. Back at camp, we see 2 major names being thrown out, which here's the thing. It was interesting because the names were Genevieve and Gabe. And while it's like almost anxiety inducing at home, knowing that it's between 2 people, I almost enjoy it more because like the prior episodes, we've seen there's like 4 names thrown out. And it's like, this just makes no sense. And then it's like they get to tribal council and everyone seems to vote together. And I'm like, why did you mislead me then? Like, it's so confusing. I will say though, we have been like staunch Gabe haters, and I stand by that. But I love Genevieve. I've raved about her this whole time.
Player.
And the producers really had me on my toes that she might be the one going out, because I was like, I don't know. It could be Gabe, it could be Genevieve. I really had no idea what was gonna happen. We get to tribal council. And again, honestly, the conversations that were had, nothing really led me to believe it was gonna go one way or the other.
It felt very either, you know, it could go either way.
Yeah.
It didn't feel very set in one direction, like some of the councils.
Yes, I agree. So they go to vote, and here's what's so funny. There was a lot of tweets about this too, is obviously both their names start with G, so it was like there was really no kind of hints or ideas of how it was gonna go just based off that little bit of editing. Gabe does eventually end up going home getting the majority of the votes. Here's the thing, I am more than pleased that he's gone.
Same.
I think that he played so hard, and he was quite annoying to me, if I'm being honest. And I was really scared he was gonna like randomly make it to final 3 and then just not win. So I'm just happy that he's gone for good.
Right, yeah, I never have figured out what didn't sit right with me with Gabe, but something about his demeanor, his personality, it just never
like
sat right with me.
Very cocky, very entitled, very like, I know everything, everyone should be scared of me. And I'm like, no one's scared of you, that's how you went. So, yeah, I don't know, I don't care for it. But anyway, as I said, we're just a few weeks away from the finale. I have no idea how this season's gonna go. Every week I'm shocked by who goes home, and this has honestly been one of the most like confusing, shocking, and chaotic seasons I think we've seen. I don't know if I'd say favorite in the new era, but definitely like just up there with like really good gameplay where everyone is like playing hardball, which I really enjoy. So, all right, as always, brand new episode of Survivor tonight on CBS. Tune in, don't miss it. Unscripted will be right back.